Criticism is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I feel pretty good about myself because someone on Twitter told me to burn in hell, which is pretty great.
What'd your tweet say last night?
My tweet said, I'm too tired to go look it up, but basically, I totally get the Cardinals fans' frustration.
Yeah.
They pay their hard-earned money to watch, and they expect better. I've just said that criticism is fine. This team deserves to be criticized.
They do.
I said I just don't understand some people seemingly taking joy in Waino's struggles. That's it.
So what was their rebuttal? Yeah.
So people are like, stop criticizing, stop attacking fans. No, I didn't attack. I just said I don't understand that part of it. Like, I don't understand it. And then so I start to look in people's bios.
You're damn right.
Like most people, like, it doesn't bother me if people rip me, whatever, that's fine. But every once in a while I'll see one. I'm going to come back at this guy. Let me look at his bio, see if I can. And one guy in his bio said, I want peace on earth.
But screw you.
After he came after me.
I hope you die.
So I said, I also want peace on earth. Let's start by trying to be nicer on Twitter.
Yeah. You
like,
psycho.
That's what, every once in a while, or someone, I didn't attack fans, but carry on. Like, what can you say? I didn't attack anybody.
So funny.
Funny. I can read the top comments under his thing. Because they're actually more positive than Jim's leading on. The most liked comments under his tweet, one says, I actually think most fans feel badly tonight for Adam.
Most do.
Dude. We wanted this for him. We wanted this for him tonight. There are always critics, but tonight the real fans hurt along with him.
Okay. Okay.
We have
listen, though. Let's be honest here. Waino's got it pretty damn good. Yeah, you got chirped a little bit on Twitter. We've all been through that. Last night, you got lit up like Daddy Padre down in Nashville. Probably worse than that, to be honest with you. And you left that game, and they applauded you. If you were in New York, the Mets, or whatever, they'd be throwing trash at you. Like, you got it pretty damn good here, man.
They might be out, considering how much trash they've had to throw at their own team.
Let me just say this. Like, Waino shutting down Twitter, I didn't get it. If you're on Twitter, you're going to play the game. You're going to take shrapnel when things aren't going well. That goes for me. I'm not like, I kind of think it's hilarious that someone told me to burn in HE double hockey sticks.
Burn in hell.
It's part of the game. That's what Twitter is. So if you're going to be on it, so I never agree with him shutting his Twitter down, but that's up to him. It's his account. So he had an awful outing in London. And then yesterday, I mean, no one wanted to bounce back more than Adam Wainwright. And he couldn't go 2 innings. Got hit around.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's kind of sad. I expected them to say he's got shoulder weakness or something, and he's going to get his next start.
Do we have Ollie? Do we have?
I want to hear. Well,
I have Adam queued up currently.
Let's hear from Adam. I want to hear from Ollie too eventually.
Let's give his line for people that don't understand exactly how it went for Waino. 1 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and his ERA balloons to 7.45. This is coming on the heels of an awful outing in London against the Cubs. Waino wanted to bounce back. He didn't. Here's Waino in the postgame.
At my age, you just wonder sometimes if people have lost faith in you, and that's what he walked over and said he didn't. He hadn't lost faith in me, and still believed I was going to finish strong and going to help this team win a lot of games, which that's what I asked him. I said, hey, just don't give up on me, and he said, I'm not giving up on you until this is over. So.
Did you feel like you needed to hear that in that moment?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, everybody needs some words of affirmation now and then. And, after a game like that, yeah, I would say I probably did need to hear that.
That's the whole Bally's?
No, that was just the best part at the very end.
No, but
so you listening and picked out the best part?
Yeah.
Who said it was the best part? I'm just curious.
Oh, I called my own number on that one.
Okay, no, that's fine.
That was the quote that Bally's put in the tweet.
Yeah. Okay.
So I thought it was the best.
No, I'm not questioning. I was just curious if someone left you that. Yeah,
turn his mic.
That was a good one. But the whole I wanted to hear like the whole thing because you could hear part of him saying part of it was like I don't know, and then it was like I only got
soft contact.
But he said in London I gave up 8 2-out hits today I gave up 5. If you take those away, I probably could have gone. I wanted to hear
Find
some of
that
that.
part.
All right, well, here, we'll play the first couple minutes.
Find that part.
I was one pitch away from a zero there in the second, and then gave up, 5 or 6 hits in a row there, all in the middle of the plate. Just bad execution, and no excuses. Just can't explain it. Just not pitching good. 2 games in a row.
Yeah, is there anything that connects the last start to this one in terms of execution or what you're doing?
No, I mean, I came in today with probably the best mindset I've had all year. Really wanted to be great today, and thought I was going to be great, and keep being surprised when I'm not. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell the fan base. Sorry, we'll just keep grinding.
How difficult is this for you personally? Obviously, last season you want to do well for the team, and it's just not there to this point. How difficult is this for you?
Well, I was trending the right way until the last 2. So I'm trying to compartmentalize these 2 starts, and build off of other things I've done well, and get better at the things I haven't done well. But I've not executed well. I mean, that's plain and simple. I've got outs with worse stuff before than I had tonight, and they weren't missing anything because I'm throwing it right in the middle of the plate. It's just there's no excuse for that. Big league hitters hit balls in the middle of the plate, and I threw a few of them in a row.
That's what I was.
Get the gun.
That's the part I wanted to hear, right? Because there's a guy who understands it's not going well, but also feels like a pitch or 2 could have changed everything up.
That was a bad game.
Yeah.
That was a bad game. You can see it in his eyes, dude. Like, he's not out there confident. He's just kind of like, oh, boy. Like, he knows it's going to happen.
So
you can see it in his face.
Confidence if he comes over to 590, like I've recommended, maybe a little mentality.
I don't know. Now that Cole
something
put that tweet
well,
out, you don't want
that's
nothing
fair.
to do with us. We're lucky we got kids.
So I look at what Waino's saying about trending in the right direction. I mean, and in comparison, the 3 starts before the last 2 were better. It's hard to get much rougher than the last 2 have been. 17 hits in this last 4 2/3, 13 earned runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. That's it's about as bad as it can get.
He's not one pitch away, though. Like,
yeah,
as
I
much
know,
as
and
I like him and defend him, and it's weird because I don't think he was one pitch away.
He wasn't fooling anybody.
There's not, and that's the point that I make by saying that. It's by hearing that, I'm just like, that's not realistic. That's just not it. It's not. Well, there's no point in that game where the Astros batters weren't in control and just sitting on their pitch. I was listening to Mookie Betts and Mike Trout talk the other day. They had a podcast, and they were talking about how even the game's different from when they started. Guys are tuning up 100. You're seeing, 97 is probably the low you're seeing. They're pretty much sounding like 2 guys are like, we can't wait to see a guy like this. I don't know.
No doubt.
I don't know who maybe is throwing the lowest velo in the NL, but I can't imagine it's not Waino at this point. And it goes back to the bigger issue of a lot of the Cardinal pitchers for me. They don't miss enough bats. There's way too many things that are getting in place, and Waino is leading the pack in that in a major way. So that's why I asked for the Ollie sound, because I couldn't believe that stance that they took to do. It's one thing to tell Waino what he told him. It's a whole nother thing to be that's the stance that you take publicly and that you stand on behind for the people, too, which is firing them up.
You want to hear it right now?
I would love to.
Right.
Let's go.
I would say just upset more than emotional. He's a competitor who's having a tough time navigating the lineup at the moment. So it's expected to be upset, and he's never been more determined to figure out a way out of it. So that's where we're at.
When do you weigh when it's appropriate to go up to a player who was upset after an outing and want to stay back?
You got a pretty good feel for when somebody needs their space and when somebody needs to be encouraged. So, yeah.
What was your message to him in that?
It's between me and Waino, but yeah.
Yeah, we know what his pitches have been doing and have been doing as he's been working through this last couple starts. Do you all feel like you have a pretty good bead on maybe why he's not getting up out of the curveball?
Yes and no, and it's a better question for him. But at the end of the day, we're gonna figure it out, and he'll make his next start, and he's determined to. So.
Just physically, there's not.
No, correct. Yeah.
You get checked out with it.
Correct. Yeah.
From your vantage point, is it similar issues as the last start in terms of just it may have been.
Yeah, you have that just the hesitation at third there for the double play ball, and just inability to finish a hitter. Kind of led to another hit and another hit and then 6 runs. But yeah, it's, at the end of the day, it's being able to finish a hitter and miss a bat. So yes, very similar to the last one, I would say.
Last season, Albert's start didn't go as he hoped, and then he does.
You good on that?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right,
I'm good.
I'm gonna fall asleep. Yeah, look, it is what it is. You know, did you guys? Did you hear Edmonds kind of chirping Contreras?
Well, I heard a couple things.
I heard a couple things too. Maybe we could find one of them. Should we play that, or is that no?
Whatever you want.
No, okay. But he was kind of chirping Contreras. I heard that.
He was praising Contreras
a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
weeks ago.
Contreras, in the middle of this disaster it's been on the mound, Contreras is actually, turning it around somewhat. I don't know when it's too late.
Contreras was at his best, in the middle of a firestorm, right? So there's a whole debacle. Instead of just saying, let's be honest, pitchers wanted him to work on some things, so they weren't going to let Kiz catch and try to get Contreras' bat in their DH, maybe outfield. What? Instead of just saying, not even mentioning it, just say, hey, he's got an ankle, it's still a little sore, which it was. We're going to give him a little rest and not put him behind the plate. They said, yeah, he's not going to catch. He's going to be in the outfield. As they're going to Wrigley Field, his return to Cubs Nation. So 150 reporters waiting to say, how come they won't let you catch? That's a tough spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad communication on the part of the Cardinals, bad messaging, bad across the board. And what happens? Contreras, I was there, handled the media scrutiny beautifully, and then was fired up being back. And had a great series. And then, started to pick it up. And then since then, he's gone down. But he was at his best when he was in the crosshairs.
Hey, Wilson, when you left town, you're catching.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Did you forget your stuff?
Oh.
And it wasn't one. It was like, how come you're not catching? Wouldn't you like to catch? Is catching something you'd like to do?
Have you ever caught?
Yeah, everything.
What's your favorite ice cream?
And he handled it great.
Yeah.
And then he was on the upswing. Look, it's a long season, and he's a talented guy. He'll get it back. But I like Contreras, but yeah, he's made some mistakes along the way.
Yeah, I think Waino was kind of getting pissed at him and the ump.
Oh, he was not getting any calls.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have made a whole lot of a difference, but that is so key for him. If he can get those corners, he would go at least, 5 innings instead of an inning in 2/3.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Well, don't rule anything out.
And people talk about Waino's velo a lot, and I get it, and yes, that's an important factor. But I'm telling you, he believes, and I've seen it. If he's hitting, he'd only hit an 86 mile. If he could get an 88 mile an hour fastball, but spot it where he wants it to go, they can't sit on the curveball, and they can't lay off the curveball like we saw a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a key for him, and he's been unable to do that this season.
Let me check my notes out real quick. Let me see what I got in here. I'm sure it's all positive.
It's time to get your mind right with Cam's Notebook, presented by Block Dispensary on 590 The Fan.
Thank you, Block. Let me see here. Oh, yep, Waino got lit up. I got you, Cole.
You sure did.
Were you rattled at least? Because that should rattle you a little bit because, you know, Kiz and, we had a good thing going. And then now you're probably like, well, if I want to move up, maybe those guys aren't going to like. I don't know. Did it rattle you a little bit? I hope it did.
Slightly, but I also felt that yesterday it was highly encouraged that I continue the joke.
Cole, stop. Don't give him this. Don't give him this. This is worse than what he actually did. Hey, did I shake you up? Because that's what I meant to do.
Oh, man. It's Friday. You're going on vacation.
I'll tell you. No. It was my idea. Just so you know, it was my idea.
I absolutely know that because there's no way he sat back and said, what we really need to do is throw Cole into a black hole.
No, we did. No, we both were like, no, let's get him.
And my tweet, by the way, wasn't about you.
Oh, it's funny.
My tweet was, I saw a lot of it, on my feed. People honestly, like doing an end zone dance over the fact that Waino was awful. And I was like,
I didn't get that.
Well,
That's how it is, man.
that is Schadenfreude. And I knew that if I tweeted that at Cole, it would force him to look up the word.
But Waino's
I
back.
did, and I wrote it down.
Waino, it's good. It's a yeah.
So all three of us learned something.
Yeah. Waino's back on Twitter, by the way. But again,
Before the game, Charlie said he fired it back up.
But listen, again, you get lit up like a Christmas tree, and you're for the second time in a row. Bad. Everybody's pissed and frustrated. There's 40,000 people there. They applauded you. You got it pretty damn good.
Well, did they applaud
You didn't
him?
hear it?
No, they did.
They did.
I mean,
100%.
they gave him a note.
I get it. I watched it.
I'm just saying,
when we were
Maddie.
texting,
Let him go. Let him go. Let's hear it.
We were texting throughout this war film that we watched last night. Were they clapping for him in a all right? You'll get through this, kid. You'll be all right. Were they clapping for God? This is over, or were they clapping to say, hey, listen, man, maybe this is the last chance we'll get, so we're clapping for you.
Jesus Christ, 1 and 3.
What are we doing?
A mixture of 1 and 3.
If I'm being honest, like to me, that moment felt like this was the fans thanking him for a great career. That's what it felt like.
That's what I'm saying.
Me too.
Thanking you for a great career, saying, good Lord, this is over, and then clapping because we support you, that's a different thing. That felt like this might be the last time we ever see you.
I mean, I know, but it could have been completely. It could have been just booing the hell out of him.
Good thing it wasn't seat cushion day.
I mean, think about that.
No, I don't. I honestly don't think there was any. Let's be clear. I thought it was not mean spirited. Like, thank goodness it's over. I thought it was like they were supporting him on a great career. Like something's not right. And then beyond Waino, and he was awful. That was like a non-competitive game for the Cardinals, and it felt like there's been some really bad losses. Ones that you're like, is this bottom? Is this rock? Nope. There's more rock bottom below it. This kind of felt like an exhale. Like,
remember back in the day,
it just was a non-competitive game.
Good Lord, thank you. These guys are leaving town finally.
And like usually when Waino had a bad outing, like people would get behind him. Like, all right, let's rally together. Yeah, you let it 4. He didn't last long. He's our guy. Let's rally together and come back. There was nothing. I mean, they didn't even. They were sleeping last night.
They got 4 hits. Their offense sucked, too.
They were sleeping.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a non-competitive game across the board. It felt – this was as like – the feel was like depressing.
Yeah.
And I had never – even after a loss, the nice thing about baseball, there's always another game tomorrow unless it's an off day and you get a spirit win. But
which have been
this
the
one
best
just
ones
felt
of the
like
year.
this felt weird. This game felt – I think the team felt bad for Waino. I don't think anyone in that clubhouse expected Waino to have an outing like that, and it was really a non-competitive game. And now the Yankees are in town, and Bader's back.
Bader. Okay.
What's that
Get him
gonna
in,
be?
by the way, 855-282-8255. I heard he's going to come on the show live.
Well, Cam, when you get down there tonight because you want to be there for the moment,
It's too hot.
are you gonna be? Are you gonna stand up when Bader comes? Is there gonna be
I ain't leaving my house.
a Bader
when it's 100
jersey
degrees.
maybe?
100 degrees out tonight. Not doing it. As much as I love Harrison Bader, I'm not going to go down to Busch Stadium.
I golfed Wednesday in the 102 and in the smoke and smog. So I'm ready to see what kind of powers I might have got.
How's your wheel?
I'm batting down the hatches, man.
How's my wheel?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What kind of question?
What you talking about?
The tire you almost blew.
Another one?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm good. As far as
That's 3 in a month.
Walking the course? No, I was in the cart. I didn't walk very far.
You're not
we're in
walking
Florida?
a course.
Yeah.
New York. Oh.
Oh, jeez. Craig. Get him in, by the way, 855-282-8255. They're blowing up.
You know what else was so bad last night? Like, I was like, all right, this is an awful game. Burleson is in. A position player pitching. That's always fun. Nope, not fun.
Lit up.
Not going to be fun.
Nope. Grand slam.
You know, his problem was he was a college pitcher. He was a really good pitcher in high school, and he always wanted to be the next position player. When you're throwing it like 80s, and it's not slow enough.
No.
Like, you have to be
Albert.
Yes, that's the only way you're going to get out.
The Ephus
because
pitch?
otherwise you're like a batting practice.
Even though he gave up a jack.
Yeah, I was about
but,
to say,
you know.
didn't Joey Bart get him or something?
Yeah. Well, Vladimir Guerrero pitched earlier this year. I think he threw 56. I was like, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
In fairness, they were kind of already able to time those pitches up, though, having to face Waino.
Well, it's the
First 2 innings.
Astros. They probably had the footage already. They knew what was going to be. The Astros have got footage on every pitcher.
Altuve's pretty good against the Cardinals.
You know?
Although I don't like him.
Let's be honest, though.
Nerdy
The
ass.
Astros are a decent team. They got a really good pitching staff. Offensively, especially with the players that are out, they're not really a juggernaut.
No.
Middle of the pack.
I mean, they're just a bunch of guys, middle of the road guys, and they just destroyed her.
Burleson had Waino-type velocity out there, Wombat. Wobb's job thing is until Cardinal Nation stops going to the ballpark, ownership is not going to make changes. Ownership is just going to keep reaping the benefits and put a halfway decent team on the field just to keep drawing fans in. It seems like ownership cares more about the ballpark village and their developments than the team because they know the fans are just going to keep showing up to the games. Thoughts, please. Last night was an embarrassment. Why the F would you pay or travel to see this club? Come on, hockey season.
And also, hey, Cardinals, just lie.
Wait a minute. Come on, hockey season. I mean, SC, baby. Come on. You got to expand your portfolio.
Maddie,
Seth, come on.
City Park.
Maddie.
Let's go. Get your butt down there.
Seth almost had a fight down there.
Seth,
so he's not allowed to go to
Seth,
City Park
next time that happens, you call me. I got a guy down there.
I'll call the whole U City.
He'll throw them out. No, it's never Seth's fault.
No, it was his buddy. Seth would never do anything like that, but it was his buddy.
Well, so how many fights in your life have you been in where it's your fault because your buddy did something? It's always on your buddy. It's always on your buddy.
Not my buddies.
It's always on
mine. They weren't
mine.
allowed to do that crap. I would have walked away. You try to do that, I'm not playing that game because you're an idiot. I'll walk right away from that and you'll get your ass kicked. Nope.
I honestly
fight by me.
I hate that in college. I mean, now you're an adult. You're not going to get a bloody nose fighting someone in a bar, hopefully.
Let's hope not.
And now MMA guys, you bump the wrong guy, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
So better to avoid that.
Peel your
But in
skin off
college,
your arm.
I was in a frat, and we hated the frats where the littlest guy wearing a jersey started a fight. So we would make sure our little guys weren't mouthy.
Don't be mouthy.
And if they were, they would fight their own battles. But of course, you can have great intentions, and it never works out that way. And by the time you're a senior, you try to avoid that because the little guys would start the fights, and then the big guys would have to get involved.
Funny how that works. And I even at the golf tournament the other day, our group was next to a different group, and they're like, "You think we could take them?" Just being funny. I go, look at that kid right there. They're like, "What? The little guy?" I go, "Just look at him. Look at him. You think you beat him up?" "Well, I'm bigger than him. I'm big." "Look closer."
Your kid's not that good.
I go, "Look closer." He's like, "What? You don't see them cauliflower ears, boy? That dude lives out by me. He's a shite kicking son of a bitch. He's 5'7". He's 160 pounds. Look at his cauliflower ears. You don't know that?
That's
That's why.
Yeah.
God, well, I'm bigger than him. He's got cauliflower. His face. He's got marks all over his face. His ears are blown up. You don't see that?
Being bigger than ain't
being bigger than.
Yeah.
Back then, too, it was a little bar fight. You get a punch in, somebody else. It mattered about the size. Now it's like, that guy might know taekwondo, any sort of like jujitsu, and once he gets you on your back,
that
then
guy
you're
might
screwed.
You been in fights?
No, I've never been in an actual fist fight.
Good.
Aside from when I was a kid. Like grade school in the neighborhood. No, I never got in an actual
There's a cutoff.
Got the whole I got the whole.
You gotta be throwing
the whole grades as a whole class
as a retired guy who did get in fights. There's a cutoff. It's like when do you start counting girlfriends?
Yeah.
You don't count them. You don't count them before a certain point.
No doubt.
I've had to break up fights for sure.
Yeah, I did too, man.
Yeah, you almost had that big brawl because you guys didn't. you guys wanted to sit.
So it's like, what do you think about that? I'm like,
that's the name of Seth's gang, the sitting boys.
These two people in front of him, Maddie. Not to get back into it because we went on a tangent.
No, we can.
So Seth comes in. He's like, I have to tell a story, and we're like, okay. So Seth's like,
it didn't go the way Seth was planning.
Tell me,
not true. See, I did not care. I objectively told the story, and I just wanted to hear their reaction.
Tell us what you think.
I was not trying to get them on my
These guys
side.
are being so rude.
Wait, Cam's a storyteller,
These
bro.
guys, you're dang right I am. And I'll get you again, Cole. These guys were so rude at City Park.
Rude.
I go, what were they doing? Were they bumping into you? Were they saying some nasty things? Were they throwing things? Like what? Well, they stood up.
I didn't say
that. I'm
that.
like, oh, okay. Well, the whole time? No. Just during penalty kicks. I'm like,
and they did it intentionally.
They did it intentionally. And it was like 20 or 30 seconds. And then they sit back down. I go, oh.
And then stand back up.
Yeah.
And then sit back down.
At a penalty kick, which was like 30 minutes down the road. And you're like, okay.
No.
So they stood up 2 or 3 times during the game for 10 seconds, and you guys are yelling at him? No, you're wrong. And I think I know the dude that did it.
Because
Jackie Parlay.
Because the sitting boys don't take no stuff from people that want to stand.
Hey, you sit down.
I mean,
we sit down around here.
Yeah. Go sit down now, son.
And we were like, no. You guys were in the wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're at a sporting event. People are going to stand. You're not at a poetry reading.
Exactly.
You're at a sporting event.
Poetry slam. Get it right.
Man. No, again, if they were standing there with a stupid ass sign like, and you're like, what's this? And you paid your kids are there. I'd be like, okay, can we move the sign? But anyway,
and then they turn around and say, "You moved the sign."
Then you're like, oh God, what do you? No, I'm not going to do that.